Right, hello folks. Given that literally it is the end of 2024, I've decided just to do a little video, just kind of, I don't know, really, just me rambling and thanking you all for supporting the channel over the last year. So as you know, those who followed me from the beginning, I started this channel I started it about a year ago, according to this, and then started doing content about 10 months ago. And as of today, I've got 67 subscribers based on 34 videos, and I'm massively, massively pleased with that. So the aim of this channel has always been to just put content out as and when I'm able to, rather than trying to make YouTube a career. I haven't got the time for that. I've got my own job and career, and I do loads of other stuff, and I don't want to be using YouTube as a career path at all. I haven't got the patience for it either. And the aim has always been to put out content as and when I can put something together and when I have the time to do so. So I don't think 10 months of content, 34 videos, and some of these are like really long and well researched and stuff. I don't think that's too bad going. Um, so obviously this year I've covered, kind of like basic introductions as to what the regular and territorial army were, how they relate to the home forces, and started looking at the evolving invasion threat as it went on through the Second World War, and also doing like little videos doing myth busting type stuff based on the misperceptions and misconceptions of how the UK was defended. So in terms of ongoing series, the next I'm gonna aim in 2025 to finish the invasion threat series. So the plan for that is to cover obviously summer 1940 is going to be a very big one, and then also covering winter 1940 to 41, 1941, and then the plan is for me to run it up to December 1942. So whenever the invasion threat is considered, it is always said to end as soon as Germany turns its attention to Russia in June 1941, I think it was. But the reality is the threat of imminent invasion, as it was seen by the Home Forces and General Headquarters Home Forces, did not come to an end until 1943. And this is something that I want to use as a kind of ending point for the invasion threat series. So far, I'm not sure, because I'm pretty much like working, learning on the job with this. I'm doing the research as I go along and learning from this. So I'm not sure coming into 1942 or 43 what the invasion threat is going to look like in terms of the UK. So I can't update you on what I'm going to find on that. I've got a good idea for 1941 in terms of the invasion threat remained, as far as I'm aware, relatively consistent as it was in summer 1940, summer early autumn 1940. Um, yeah, so from what I've already got, from many years of doing this, I've got a good idea of what was going on in 1941, and how the invasion threat was perceived. But 1942 and this end of 1942 is something very different. So the aim is for 2025, finish that sometime in the year as and when. And then I want to follow this up with a new series looking at the defensive strategy. So how the defensive strategy evolved from 1939 up until, well, I'm going to say 1944, 1945. Just depends. Because again, there's a lot of misconceptions about how the UK was defended, and how this defensive strategy evolved and changed over time as well. So it's going to be an in-depth look at that, which generally hasn't been covered elsewhere. So a couple of things I want to focus on are obviously stop lines. Stop lines get a lot of attention, even though they were officially defensive strategy for, I say, literally 2 months. But in the course of my research as well, I want to also focus on the GHQ line. So a lot of people know about the GHQ line, or General Headquarters line, which was like this line of defences that were located, off the top of my head, estimation about 40-50 miles inland, and kind of the aim of these was to protect the industrial heartland of the UK. So there's a couple of things that popped up in my research. So a couple of spoilers here. First one being that the role of the Home Guard in terms of defending the GHQ line is massively overstated today, as you'd expect, and their role, especially in 1940, early 1941, was surprisingly minimal from what I've seen so far. I've got the documents relating to the GHQ line, which I'll look at in more detail later. But in terms of the areas I've looked at, so Norfolk in particular, in 1940, early 1941, literally all the Home Guard were tasked to do on the GHQ line was to occupy and garrison the roadblocks, nothing else. There were possibly one or two defensive positions that they would take, but that was literally it. So the role again today of the Home Guard in terms of the GHQ line is massively overstated. And one of the things that always pops up whenever I see, Home Guard groups doing stuff in pillboxes and things is that always they're using weaponry that in pillboxes that was issued to the regular and territorial army, and there's a very good reason for that, because the pillbox was designed to be used by the regular and territorial army units of the Home Forces. I see a little Poppy in the background. Hello, Pops. So that is Major Poppy. She's the head of the household, and she's she tells me what to do on this channel. So yeah, that's going to be the next step on is to focus on the defensive strategy of the Home Forces and all that. So that'll give you something to look forward to in 2025. Just want to kind of finish off as well by saying a massive thank you to everyone who has followed and subscribed and liked my videos and commented. Yeah, and we've had some absolutely fantastic discussions on the page as well. I've also had some really good recommendations for books. So I tend to not bother reading published works. I focus specifically on the primary sources because you get a lot more information out of the primary sources, and you get a generally kind of better understanding of what was going on rather than reading someone else's work. But I've got a couple of recommendations for books which I'm going to read over the course of the next year. So yeah, looking forward to reading those, but like I say, they'll generally take me a long time to read because I prefer to focus on primary sources. As always, coming into 2025, I want to hope to, build up the audience of the channel as well. And if you can, please do recommend the channel to friends and family or people on Facebook or wherever, as it's really useful, and I want to get the word out there about the Home Forces. Major Poppy has just decided to go to the toilet, and she's been very busy there digging in the litter tray, which is literally just behind me. Coming to that, I hope you've all had a great Christmas, and I wish you all a very happy new year from myself. And yeah, keep on commenting, keep on liking the videos. Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you in 2025.